We'll start. So, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It's lovely and very special and rather self-indulgent, I feel. But I'm really honoured to have you all here and be part of my special occasion. So, let's start with everyone saying who they are, whereabouts they are, and what kind of relationship you have with me and or Clean. And I'll let you all decide when you're going to speak in what order.
Well, shall I go first?
Go on then, yes, why not?
My name's Maureen Nichols. I live on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland in Australia. And Angela is my babysitter. And I have to be absolutely honest, I don't know anything about clean coaching, but I support her every way I can.
Thank you. Yes.
I'll continue the down under.
Okay.
My name's Leona. I'm in Sydney, Australia. James, we met, not that I expect you to remember, actually, at the beginning of the year at a clean workshop. I've been dabbling in the edge of clean for some time and using it in my coaching and therapy practice and in my own inner work. So very excited. Your book is still coming from England, flying its way over to Australia. So looking forward to seeing it, Angela. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I'm going to go next.
Okay.
I'm Heather Katz, and I'm in Oxford, England. And I did some training with Angela ages ago, and she introduced me to Clean Space. And then I did a 12-day course and did many of the days in London with James and Penny. And I continue to use Clean, not all the time, but I noticed that I'm definitely looking out for all those metaphors, and I do Clean Space, and I'm continually amazed at the results from it. And it's just very exciting to be here, and congratulations on putting a book together. Huge achievement.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And anyone else?
Good morning.
Hello, Susanna. Oh, Erwin. Hello, Erwin.
Good morning, Angela.
Hello, Erwin.
Yes, I'm here from Dominican Republic. I'm still your student of clean coaching and clean language in your space. Is the first I start. So I'm continue from the distance, but I'm still I'm fascinated. I'm very glad with this book. I hope to have it because I know you know very well the area is clean. It's a clean area. Theory. So opportunity to learn. So from Dominican Republic, it's only 6 a.m. It's very early here.
Yeah.
Yes, this value is very important to be present in this special moment for us, for everybody that want to learn this clean coaching. So congratulations in this special moment for you.
Thank you very much, Erwin. And it's lovely to have you join us from the Dominican Republic. Thank you for being here. Okay. And who else would like to say
Shall I go next?
Please do, James.
Well, I'm in London, and I hope we have a good relationship. I actually can't remember where we first met or how we first met. So maybe you can remember that. But I know it goes back a little while now, and it's been fantastic to see how you've developed the idea, made them your own, and produced this book, which is, as someone else did, a fantastic. So really pleased to be here and supporting this.
Thank you, and really appreciate you being here. Thank you, James. And anyone else? Susanna, I can see Susanna's joined us. Welcome. I've just invited everyone to share who they are, where they're from, and what kind of relationship they have with me or with Clean.
Okay, I could go.
Okay, you go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah,
Susanna.
so Susanna from Malaysia, and I'm a student of yours. So I consider you my sifu, my teacher. Yeah, for on the journey to Clean, and I also was most fortunate to learn from Penny and James as well, and Caitlin. So my relationship is that I have many fingers pointing to Clean. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Susanna.
So Susanna and I are in the same time zone. We're even in the same city, but I see her more online than I do in real life. So if not for these occasions online, we wouldn't see each other, right, Susanna?
No, not true. We're going to change that.
Yes, fingers crossed. So my name is Jacqueline, and I am based in Kuala Lumpur, like Susanna is. I know Angela because I've attended all of her online classes for Clean Language as well as Emergent Knowledge, and they have been so instrumental in giving me the kind of foundation I needed to become a Clean Language coach and to become a Clean Language group facilitator. And like Susanna, I've also had the privilege of working with and learning from James and Penny as well as Caitlin when they came down to Kuala Lumpur. And yeah, I also had the privilege of being one of the first few people to read your early drafts of the book. So I'm really, really excited to be here. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. So thank you for organizing an online book launch to make it possible for me and Susanna and everybody else who's outside of the UK to attend.
Thank you, Jackie. And I do seem to remember it was your idea. So thank you for the brilliant idea of doing something like this. And thanks also, you were really helpful in having a look through my book. And I know you have a copy of the book with a little special message from me winging its way to you very soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Brilliant, thank you. And last but not least, I think it's last but not least, Candy.
Yes, I always wait till last.
I know.
Candy. I don't know if it's polite or shy. I don't know which one it is. So I'm Candice. I am in Mansfield, which is Nottingham, which is my relationship is Angela because I studied all of her modules of Clean, and I'm also supervised. I'm looking forward to being coached by her as well. So I have read other books as well, but I'm very much looking forward to this one because I feel like it's going to delve my knowledge of the courses and
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And where are you calling from, did you say?
So in Mansfield, actually. Mansfield.
Okay, brilliant. In the UK. Excellent.
In the UK.
Thank you very much, everyone. And so I think now it would be a good a time as any to raise a glass. Cheers to all of you for being here, for all your help. You've all helped me in one way or another, and without the collective you, I'm sure this book wouldn't exist. So, cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Congratulations to you and the book.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I did promise a special code. If anyone hasn't bought their book yet, I have a code from Routledge which will enable you to get a 20% discount. Bear in mind, you have to apply this discount through Routledge, and other booksellers may have their own special offers on. So, you know, I suggest you shop around. However, at the moment, it's should mean you get a good price. So the code is, someone's having a laugh here because it's IRK 71. IRK 71. And if you go to the Routledge website, you'll get the book at 20%, whatever it would be from wherever you're buying it from. Okay, I thought I might just share a few thoughts about the book, and maybe if you're willing and patient enough, I might read you a little bit of the book before seeing if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask me. So what kind of book is it? And I thought, well, rather than say something about what I think the book is, I would share some words from other people. So firstly, I'd share what Carol Wilson has said about the book. And although Carol isn't here, I would like to really thank Carol from the bottom of my heart. I'm hugely indebted to Carol. You know, many years ago, I literally fell headlong in love with clean. And realised it was going to be a lifelong relationship for me. And I recognised I'd stumbled on something that I really wanted to learn about and share with others for the rest of my life. And once I kind of got attached to Carol and David, who had started the clean coaching training at the time, I basically offered myself to do anything that they wanted for free, as I did with Penny and James at an earlier time, I think. So I ended up assisting, and on one particular day I had a phone call from Carol, totally out of the blue, and in her very kind of laid back and matter-of-fact manner, she said, "Oh, David and I have decided we'd like you to run the courses from now on." And that was that. So yeah, unfortunately, and David was to still be part of the courses, but sadly I never actually co-facilitated with him before he sadly passed away. But I feel as though we were kind of joint facilitators in name, if not in practice. And as I say, I was lucky enough to assist a few times on that course. So what did Carol say about the book? I will tell you, if I can just grab a copy. Carol has said, I love this book for its clarity and simplicity. It gives a thorough representation of the work that David, Angela and I did together during the years leading up to his death, as well as the way in which he has gone on to develop and progress our work. It provides a detailed description of what coaching is, what clean coaching is, the differences between them and how they complement each other, and will guide coaches towards a more neutral style of coaching. I regard it as essential reading for those studying or delivering clean techniques, and a valuable resource from anyone studying and or practicing coaching more generally too. So thank you, Carol, for those kind words, and they're in the book. There's somebody else I'd like to quote from, if it's all right. And again, she's not here today, and that's Nancy Klein. And I kind of connected with Nancy. Many of you will know the name Nancy Klein if you haven't actually met her or seen her. She's the author of the book Time to Think, which I think even outside of the world of coaching is a fairly well-known book. And I was lucky enough to connect with Nancy a few times over the years, I think originally from my involvement with the Association for Coaching. And I think it started when I wanted to do an interview with her and put that as a podcast with the Association for Coaching. We did a fantastic interview, and it was all recorded, ready for me to turn that into a podcast, except the recording didn't work. So I had to go back to Nancy, who'd already devoted all this time, and say, would you mind doing the whole thing again? And she is so gracious. She said, of course. So we did the whole thing a second time. And although the recording worked the second time, it was an awful quality. So I had to go back to a third time, by which time we were pretty good at asking and answering questions together. So that's how I got to know her. And I wonder what she would say if I asked her what kind of relationship she had with me. Anyway, so she is wonderful, and there's many connections between Nancy's work and with Clean. And I really admire her very simple and clean way of communicating her ideas, something I definitely need to learn from. And I'm really delighted that I have her support. I had an email from her. I hope she won't mind that I read it out, but it was just such a beautiful email. Dear Angela, congratulations on your beautiful new book. I am celebrating you, and I so appreciate your giving me a copy. It is wonderful to have this thorough, precise guide and picture of the clean approach to changing people's lives, and to be learning more about it in this way. I feel I am with you, safe to explore and understanding and integrate. Also, I appreciate your generous and well-interfaced references to aspects of the thinking environment. Our approaches do have such lovely and important elements in common, as well as such a similar enlivening view of human capacity. I am honoured to be in your landscape. On Wednesday, I took your book to my course, and people were excited to know it is out. And we had a wonderful time singing your praises. I'm getting all weepy. I will share the book widely. I wish you a happy autumn and send my deepest thanks and lots of love, Nancy. So that was really, really lovely to receive. I'm indebted to everyone and all of you in many different ways. I also do need to pay special thanks to James. I didn't know until an hour or so ago that he was able to be here. But I'm really, really pleased that you were able to come, James. It does really mean a lot to me. You all know, I think you probably all know, maybe my sister doesn't know, that James is one half of the duet that is Penny Tompkins and James Lawley. And these two are without doubt the world's leading experts on all things clean, clean language and symbolic modelling. And I was definitely privileged to first learn clean language with Penny and James. I've always found both of you always supportive, always approachable, always wise, and always humble. And I do remember the first time I met you. I can't remember what year it was, probably around 2003. And you and Penny came along to the NLP course that I was on at the time with Martin Eldon. And I had one experience from Clean Language before that, in that I'd gone and worked with somebody on a one-to-one and discovered this amazing thing. And then I couldn't believe my luck and I'd already got your book and read your book. I couldn't believe my luck when I realised you and Penny were going to come and do a weekend workshop on that NLP course. And you won't be surprised to know I ended up being demo subject. So I had a go of being asked questions by you and Penny. I remember being on my metaphoric seesaw. I also remember taking my trousers off, metaphorically speaking. And it was, yeah, a wonderful experience, as all of you no doubt will know. So thank you so much, James. Please pass on my thanks to Penny. Definitely without you two, this book would not exist. So I'd like to raise our glasses again to Penny and James. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just lovely to hear. Just let me. I don't know if Penny is around. Let's see if I can find her for a second. You carry on.
All right. Yes, that'd be nice if I can see Penny. So what did I want to say about the kind of book it is? I will just say this. For me, I suppose I wrote the book that I wanted to read when I first learnt about clean. It answers not only what clean is and how to do it, but it also kind of gets to the why. You know, why does it work? And some of that is going to be my personal opinion. It's going to draw on my areas of understanding and knowledge from my psychology degree. But I hope it's still going to be useful and also readable. Hello, Penny.
Oh,
Hello there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fantastic.
I just said some very nice words about you and James,
Oh,
about
good.
how much you mean to me, and without you, my book wouldn't be in existence. So thank you so much.
Hi, people. Hi, Jack, Suzanne. Well, some I haven't met and some I have.
Bye, Penny.
Hi, Penny. How are you? So lovely to see you.
Very good. Nice to see you too.
Lovely to see
Have
you.
you got a busy day planned?
Well, I'm kind of trailing off. I had a very busy day yesterday. I had a workshop in the day using clean with health and healing in the morning and with creativity in the afternoon. And I had some people you'll know, Marion Way came along and Julie McCracken, as well as some other very lovely people. And we had a fantastic day.
Good.
So that was part of my self-indulgent time, and that continued into the evening with the kind of present, the in-person book launch last night.
Right, wonderful.
At a local hotel that my cats decided to join in.
Come up.
Don't knock the books down. Wondering what's going on. That stuff isn't usually in that corner.
It looks like it's up to no good with the flowers as well.
So today I've got this this call and I'm doing another one later, and then I shall probably put my feet up.
Right, quite right. So where is everybody from? We've been through that. Okay.
But I'm sorry, we kind of interrupted you in the middle of something by bringing Penny in.
No, it's lovely to see
Angela.
No, I'm very grateful that you did. And Penny, if you were busy doing something else, don't feel you have to stay, but it's lovely to see you. What I was going to do next was read about a page and a half of the book, and then it's open format. I did say I'd let people ask me any clean language questions or clean coaching questions that they want to, and we'll see where that takes us. So it's just a couple of pages from the beginning of the book, really, and I suppose it says something about where I've come from with all of this. And the chapter is The Art of Asking Stupid Questions. When I was in my early 20s, I earned myself a reputation for asking stupid questions. I was working in my first proper corporate position in an internal sales support role. I was part of a team and attended regular meetings. Sometimes the meetings were about planning ahead and making forecasts. Sometimes they were more creative, aimed at generating new ideas for solving existing problems. I was curious about and questioned everything. I wanted to check and double check what people meant when they talked about things like raising the bar or tightening our belts. I wanted to be clear on the jargon, these vague terms or buzzwords like profitability or customer-centric. when meetings invariably overrun and I was still raising my hand to query yet another point, my colleagues would groan. People who didn't know me thought I was new or dumb. Those that did know me knew I was neither of those things, but still didn't understand why I was asking so many questions. They would tease that I was being attention-seeking or manipulative by playing dumb. But the truth of the matter was, I was asking questions about stuff that everybody said they knew, but no one actually discussed. Those were the taken for granted rules of working, the situations that everybody knows full well, the assumptions we all thought matched everyone else's, the limitations we just have to put up with. I quickly learnt that once a question like this was raised, the truth was up for debate. People saw those supposed universally agreed areas very differently once you scratched beneath the surface. I learned that when I said, this might be a stupid question, but what followed was a very necessary and important clarification. To do that, I needed to be both brave and just a little bit naive. Over the years, I've continued to ask so-called stupid questions, and it's become the cornerstone of my career. Clean coaching could be considered the art of asking stupid questions. By asking another person to clarify the meaning of his or her words, you raise questions about apparently obvious things that need no explanation or exploration. But the answers you get are far from obvious, as the assumptions we make about people's meanings are rarely correct. Clean questions hold a mirror up to the coachee, so they can see their own meanings reflected back at them. This allows them to explore and develop their own thoughts in sometimes astounding ways. So-called stupid questions can evoke especially clever answers. That's it. Okay. So thank you for indulging me and allowing me to read that out aloud. And would anyone like to say anything or ask anything?
So I actually haven't had a chance to read any bit of it. So my question is how does it proceed from there? What happens in the book? I mean, is it sort of like a how-to kind of book, or is it more philosophical?
It's a bit of both, I suppose. Let me just tell you that first chapter, The Art of Asking Stupid Questions. After that story, I talk a little bit about why the subtitle is about the insider guide, and then I kind of frame how the book will follow. So the structure of the book and the fact that there's 4 sections to the book. So I can briefly describe what the 4 sections are. The first section is the foundations of a clean coaching approach. So this is a little bit, I suppose, the philosophy, why it has value. Sets an introduction, exploring definitions and descriptions of what coaching is, difference between directive and non-directive. And I just go into detail about why being non-directive is so important. You know, partly this book is aimed not so much at you guys, although I hope you will find value, but I hope some people are going to pick this up who have never heard of clean before. And from these early chapters, we'll get a sense of actually why it is so important to step back and be non-directive and reduce the bias in their questions. The second section focuses on the clean coach, the qualities needed to adopt this method. There is a chapter about worldviews where I've used some of what I learned from my final year of psychology, which covered social psychology and social constructivism, and you know, this idea that, you know, no one ever sees the world through anything other than their own eyes. You know, we can't help but be biased. anything that we say, anything that we do is from our own perspective. And from that, we can then, what I do in this chapter is look at kind of the different worldviews that people hold. And some of them, I guess, have more synergy with clean coaching. And I'm aware sometimes that people might have a worldview that it kind of doesn't necessarily fit together. So on the one hand, they think that they understand that other people's views are just as valuable as their own. And then in the next breath, they're saying something that totally mismatches that. So it's a chat to just help people think through, well, does my worldview match how I bring myself to coaching? I won't go into too much detail other than that. And then by the end of that second section, the final chapter in this section covers one key quality, the ability to focus attention. And that's where we start exploring some of the basic clean language questions, to look at, how you use those developing questions. What kind of, is there anything else, whereabouts, to really help somebody attend to what's happening for them. Third section is about strategies. So there's a chapter devoted to metaphor exploration. A further chapter looks at modelling and systems thinking. And then the remaining 2 chapters of the third section cover the structure of a clean coaching session. So beginnings, middles and endings, presenting clear guidelines for identifying outcomes, exploring issues and agreeing on actions. Final section is applications, and there's quite a lot of transcripts in that section. So you can kind of see how it all fits together. I end my little intro on the structure of this book. This book alone will not teach you all you need to know about clean coaching. You need to practice the skills, gain feedback on how you are doing. I recommend that you also attend training, as well as undertake some coaching for yourself so you can directly experience a clean approach. Okay, thank you, Susanna, for the question. And would anyone else like to say something or ask another question?
I have a question.
Heather.
And what difference does knowing all of that make now?
For me, or for somebody reading it?
For you.
Well, they say, don't they, that one way of really understanding something is to write a book about it, because one thing I think you get from writing a book is it helps crystallize your own views. So I was able to kind of synergize, as I was saying earlier, what I learned from my psychology degree. The only reason I did the psychology degree was because clean language kind of sparked my curiosity in that direction, and I just kind of wanted to fill in some gaps with my understanding about how people do the things they do, and so I think for me, putting it all down in the book crystallized my understanding. I don't think that means it's finished. I know, because I wrote a book before, my first book. Almost as soon as I finished that book, I thought, well, I don't really like it now, because my ideas had moved on and developed, and I hope I'll never be quite as scathing about this one. But no doubt my ideas will carry on changing and evolving, and there might be something else that comes along later on.
Right.
My partner wants me to write the next Harry Potter, though, next. So he wants me to write something that's going to make us millionaires. But we'll see.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Heather. Anyone else?
I'm going to need to go in a little while. So if it's okay with you, what I'd like to contribute is a little story about David Grove, and as an addition to this launch. Is that okay, Angela?
It will be wonderful. Yes, thank you, James.
Okay. Because one of the things that was interesting about David was, he was like all of us, multifaceted, and if you ever saw him work, you saw one of the most congruent people you'll ever wish to meet. When he asked a question, he asked it with all of his being, and you just kind of expected to answer it, even if the question was completely, apparently as bizarre as it might be. It was asked in such a way that it's like, well, yeah, what's the answer? So that was one side of him, but he was human as well. And on the other side of him, he also had a side that doubted his own work, doubted himself at times. And when he took this big leap in 2001 from the kind of traditional clean language into clean space and what became emergent knowledge, it was a huge leap for him, and he doubted himself and the value of it. And we're going back to now, I'm thinking of 2002. And I remember when he presented it the first time in the UK, his ideas about the evolving clean space, as it was. After the workshop, he said to Penny and I, do you think there's any value in this? Because he wasn't sure. So he was, as always, he was about to jet off somewhere. So we said, okay, well, we'll have a think about it. We'll play with it. We'll practice it, and we'll let you know. So when he came back to the UK, or the next time we saw him in about 6 months' time, he instantly grabbed us and said, he had amazing memory for this kind of thing. He instantly grabbed us and said, what do you think? Okay, give me your opinion. And I remember this because Penny said to him, it's got legs.
We love that.
And that little expression, which I don't know, I'll just kind of explain it. I don't know how common that expression is, but it means the ideas will run. They've got legs, therefore they will run and they will keep going. And he loved that, getting that feedback, but also what that little expression became a metaphor for whether we thought an idea had legs. We've used it ourselves, but we also then, he kept, David, for those who knew him, he was developing stuff every single month. He'd come out with new stuff. And so we would then go, well, I don't know if it's got legs yet, or it's got legs or whatever. And it became a little
metaphor.
A little metaphor, yeah. A small way of referring to this whole idea. So I just wanted to just share that, because that's in a way that was right at the beginning where the kind of this phase of his work started. And to me, it's remarkable that looking back, that he should have ever doubted that this wasn't going to be really important. But he's like the rest of us. He had his own doubts. So I'll leave you with that. I say lovely to see you all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Penny. Bye, James.
See you all again sometime online or somewhere.
Be clean, and congratulations again, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye-bye.
Bye, James.
Bye.
Bye, Penny.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we only have a few more minutes.
Can I say something quickly?
Yeah, please
That
do.
comment. What I loved about It's Got Legs, that's the very process that process has. Clean space.
Yeah. It gives ideas legs. It enables them to move around, doesn't it? Yeah, very true. Thank you, Heather. We've got maybe time for one more question before we wrap up today. So anyone have anything they'd like to say before we finish off? I see Su Yin is here, and we didn't get the chance to hear from Su Yin. Hello,
Hi, Angela. Sorry. Sorry I was late. I was a bit. I was stuck in a jam.
No worries. I hope you've enjoyed what you have heard, and you're welcome to say anything or ask anything before we wrap up today.
Yeah. Well, I think I may have to join the next session because I missed quite a lot of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was going to send you an email.
Okay. Lovely. All right. Thank you, Su Yin. And anyone else have anything they would like to say?
Can I ask? I'd like to ask, now that you've finished the book and it's published, what would you like to have happen?
Great question.
Well, I think most of you know I'm hopefully moving house very soon. And so I guess my attention is going to be on things closer to home and sorting out the new home and getting settled and letting whatever happens happen. So it's kind of like a new chapter of my life, I suppose. What would I like to have happen with the book? I suppose I'd like the book to have its own legs and just kind of turn up and go where it wants. And a little bit like the first book, every now and again I'll get an email or someone will phone me and refer to something that they read in the first book that had an impact for them. And it's just nice to know that a book, I suppose, you only reach so many people directly. And the book has that capacity to go to places that you can't go to and reach people in different ways. So, yeah, I think that's what I'd like to have happen with the book, is that it just kind of turns up in unusual places, Dominican Republic, and further afield than that, and just helps people help other people. That's not too corny. Okay, thank you for the question. Thank you. Okay, so let's just have a final toast. Toast to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot to me to have your support. I know you all in different ways, for different lengths of time, and I just so much appreciate your support. So cheers to all of you. Thank you.
Cheers. Congratulations, Angela.
Congratulations.
I want to acknowledge you, Angela, for the journey that you've been on and how you've shared that with us. I mean, I came to Clean first through you, and it was just mind-boggling. So what an achievement, and how you've grown in many. I don't know you that well, I don't see you that often, but the few times that we have been together, it's made such a difference. And I'm actually treating myself to, I'm going on Nancy Klein's coaching course in November and January. Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks everybody.
Take care.
Bye, Angela. Thank you so much.
Your night, and thank you for being here. Bye.
Thank you for hosting us. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.